we go. Very nice. What's going down with everybody? Much love and respect to everybody. We're here again with the Diamond Effect, and we got a very interesting topic that, well, Archbishop, you brought this one up.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, I want to say what up, everybody. You know what I
What
mean?
up,
Another week, another week. Uh, there's a lot of stuff that went on this week. So before we get to that, let me ask you, Mike, what all you got into since the last we've been on here.
Yeah, man. It's been actually kind of a good and hectic thing going on all at once. Dealing with going back and forth from driving from here to San Diego, selling my truck. So that's where the truck's at. It's a mega F-350. So dealing with that beast is not easy. So, but aside from that, it's been really nice. It's been really nice. It's been with the family. Can't complain. And what about you?
Well, me and Big Bone was working on this movie that we're in. Um,
I saw this.
I had it posted on Facebook and I put it on the group too. Um, those of you that's not on the Facebook group, go on it. Type in the Diamond Effect under the groups on Facebook and get on there. Um, yeah, but we're doing a movie. But we're involved in a movie. It's called Riding Dirty. Um,
Okay. I already like the name of it.
yeah, so it's been pretty fun, man. It's a little crazy how you got to go through all the stuff the way you going through it. You know what I mean? You just it's a lot of repetitious
Totally.
stuff. You know what I mean, because you got the cameraman here and there, and you have to um, kind of move along with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was it's fun. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it was going to be that fun, but I actually enjoy it. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that for the next couple months, and then the movie will be out. Uh, they're saying mid spring. They're gonna try to have the movie out, and yeah. So me and Bone been working on that, and we kind of got our hands in a couple different things here and there. So like I said, just keep your eye out, everybody, because we'll keep you informed as to how we doing things. But let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, oh yeah. For the ones that's watching on the Facebook group, go over go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get all of you transferred from the group over to uh, YouTube. Reason being is that we're gonna be expanding out here in a little bit, and it's not gonna be shown on the group chat. So you need to be on the actual channel. So
That's right.
go on there, tap the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. They ain't gonna charge you nothing. 10 seconds of your time. Go on there, tap the button. But also, what I'm going to do is that, and I ain't even get to tell you this, Mike. We're going to do a little raffle next week. So, so what we're going
Dang.
to so,
I love hearing it. I love hearing it. I want to hear more. Come
yeah.
on.
So what we're going to do is, I got a little merch here. You know what I mean? We got the Diamond Effect T-shirts. We got the Diamond Effect tumblers. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna raffle some of these off. But here's the catch: we're gonna raffle them off to the people who moves from the group to the channel.
Oh, smart. Smart.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna move from the group to the channel. Once you do that, throughout the show here, I'm gonna post my information to where you can get a hold. Whether you can put it on the group chat or whatever. I don't care how you do it, but you have to let me know that you switched over. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I can see who done it. I can see
Absolutely, we can.
right.
Yes.
You did and you didn't because I can see who done it. So, but once you do it, shoot me a message and let me know that you did it, and I can put you in the drawing. Next
Mhm.
week, we'll do the drawing, and we're gonna um, give out a little bit of merch for everybody's participation.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Love the man. I need to get me one of them Diamond Effect shirts, man. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got you. I got you coming. I got you
Oh
coming.
yeah, no, that it looks fly. It looks
Yeah,
fly.
this one was the prototype. See, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, 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 that's right. Yeah,
so the first one came, and then when the tumbler came, I had to make sure that you got yours. So we had to get that over there to you. You know.
that's right. That's right. It did happen. I'm not gonna lie.
Not the cap.
Yeah. Oh look, shoot! Look at that. The lady herself. It's on her way. That's who made all these amazing. But I mean, guys, that's quality right there.
Hmm.
Absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do a real good job at it. And it's you know, she does real good at making that stuff. And also it's another one on there, Nikita. She's the one that comes up with the designs. So shouts out to her too, because she the one that comes up with the AI designs and and sends them down there. She's all the way up in Philadelphia, so
Wow.
so she makes them up there, and then she shoots them down here to me, and we kind of go back and forth as to what I want and how I want it and whatnot. And and she does that, and then we ship it over to Enid, and she makes it a reality. You know what I mean?
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so we got a little production thing going on right now. So um, they working on that. Like I said, you got your shirt coming. It's on the way. And
Look at him. Yeah, get that nice little sip out of it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So we have a very interesting show today, and I saw that you had come across a few videos. Not that we're showing them right this second, but I want to know what the influence was of something like this, because the show is basically the definition of freedom, right? And every person I've come across has like their own definition of freedom. Like it's all different to them, individualistic to them, and so that's why I really do like this idea. What made you think to do this? And also what are you hoping to get out of it as well?
okay, well, let me start by this. You know, in recent years, there have been a growing concern amongst Americans about the impact of government policies and personal freedoms. Hashtag freedoms disappearing.
Mhm.
So so as uh, so as the role of government is in all of our lives, there's a growing fear that individual liberties are being slowly eroded. Um, some people argue that these policies, such as the increased surveillance measures and restrictions of free speech and evasive security measures, are infringing upon our rights and undermining the very principle that our nation was founded on. So, take for instance, right after 9/11, um, they granted the government a special, was it board surveillance powers,
Mhm.
that gives them like media censorship and raise questions about the limits of free expression now in this digital age that we have now. But it's crucial that we stay vigilant in protecting our freedoms and also holding the governments accountable to ensure that our policies is balanced and respectful for each person's individual rights. Now, the videos that I came up on, it actually talks about not only in America, but it also shows like over in the UK and over in China, different stuff that they're doing, which was it's kind of it's kind of interesting how they're doing it. And a lot of times, those of you that watch the Boneyard when we're on there, I talk a lot about about your individual freedoms, and I talk a lot about knowing what's going on because a lot of times, you get distracted by certain things, and while you're distracted by this, other stuff goes on, and before you realize it, it's a whole everything, all this stuff over here done went on, and you trying to figure out what happened and when it took place, but now you under the gun, and for the most part, the government is behind all of it. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
it's all about the three D's. You know, you keep you distracted, you keep you divided, and keep you disconcerted. So you get them three, And that's what they're doing. And if you think about everything that's going on, that's exactly what they're doing. And while everybody's worried about this over here, all this other stuff is coming about. I mean,
Right.
like when you talk about the central banking system, all that stuff is happening. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? This this paper money, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be worthless here real soon. You know, a lot of people don't really pay attention to it. You know what I mean? It kind of behooves me how people only pay attention to things when it happens to them, but not
Right.
before. You know what I mean? So you don't raise no question to it until it hits your pocket or it happens to you personally. You know, but any other time, you don't say nothing. You turn a blind eye to it. So this is some of the stuff that we're gonna talk about today.
Hmm. Now I'm going to be interested to find out if paper money goes away, what will be the currency at that given time? You know what I mean?
It would all be digital. It
It's
would
just
all,
all going to be digital at this point, huh? Everything.
see, but here's the thing. One of these videos is gonna talk about it. Not only is it gonna be digital, but it's gonna be even your own personal money is gonna be governed. And what I
Mhm.
that is that they're gonna know exactly how much money you have. They're gonna know
Wow.
exactly what you spent every dime for. So whatever you working for, your money is going in there. They know exactly how much is in there. They know exactly how much is going to be taxed for it. They know exactly what you're going to do with it. You know what I mean? So how much how much regulation do you need? You know what I mean? Because that's pretty strict right there. You're gonna tell me, okay, I gotta work for my money, but then you're gonna tell me how I can spend it, and you're gonna watch it. And every penny that I have, you know that I used it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
ain't no more working up under the table. Ain't no more little ain't no more little self-employed jobs that you ain't um claiming your money on. You know what I mean? None of that. They're gonna know every penny that you have. They're gonna know when you spend it, how you spend it. And in some instances, as you're gonna see in some of these videos, they can actually go through like fines and penalties and stuff like that. They can actually take the money directly out your account without you even doing anything about it. You don't even know that they took it.
Oh man. Forget about that. Forget
Yeah.
about that. You know, and Venmo, I kind of I've said this before, but Venmo is almost kind of like a public forum for you to talk about publicly what you're putting in your own house, which I thought is hilarious. So I mean, not only are we doing it to ourselves, but the government's of course going to tap in and see what the hell we're putting in our house too. I mean, why wouldn't they? You know, us humans are normal civilians are already watching each other, what we're buying, what we're bringing into our own homes. Of course, the government's going to keep an eye on all this. Yeah, no, it makes complete sense, and it's
Mm,
scary to really think about.
it is. It is. Now, as I started going through pulling these different videos and reading these different articles and stuff like that, you're right. It is scary, you know,
Mhm.
because you know that this is what it's leading to.
Right.
You know, a lot of the movies that they're coming out with, they're giving you bits and pieces of it. They're giving you hints. You know what I mean? Now, how many times have you watched a movie? And I mean, like, take this for example. Take Terminator. What was the big thing dealing with Terminator? They brought him back to the past to do what? You know, to go back to find this kid and this woman because basically you had a rise of the machines, correct?
Mhm.
So they was talking about this. This was all AI generated. The computer system, all that stuff. It was all AI. The machines took over the planet. Okay, so now when did Terminator come out in the 80s?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay, so back then everybody like, man, ain't nobody thinking about that shit, man. That's
Right.
that's some science fiction mumbo jumbo. Okay, but it's cool to see Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around like a robot. But other than that, ain't nobody worried about that. But what's going on right now? AI. You got robots that can actually move around and do stuff. They actually have. I mean, what was the article I read not too long ago where they had a robot as that they were using for defense purposes, and I guess it kind of went out of control and killed like 7 people in the lab. But this is stuff that they're actually working on. You know what I mean? You don't see it because it's not out there, but they are working on stuff like this. You know, so what do you
That's some heavy stuff right there.
right? You know, so what do? You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not coming on here trying to be no conspiracy theorist or none of that. But what I'm
Right.
talking about, fact. You know what I mean? Is fact. You know, and the biggest thing that I wanted to do in this show was just that, was to put out fact. You know what I mean? To let people know about things that they wouldn't pay attention to, because most people don't watch the news, because the news ain't nothing but what you kill. I mean, somebody dying over here, somebody getting blown up over here. You know what I mean? Somebody lying over here, somebody stealing a couple dollars over here. That's what you hear every single day. You know,
Yep.
they don't tell you about none of this stuff here. You know, and the reason why they're not going to tell you that is because, you know what I mean, the news station is owned by three individuals. They're going to tell them what to play and what not to play. You know,
Simple as that.
right? We don't get paid for shit, so we can say what we want. So, so if that means exposing them, then so be it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shoot, man. Well, I think we should bust down one of these videos at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust down one. So
I'm very interested.
yeah, so while I'm loading this, you want us on that on the Diamond Effect group page, hit that like button on Facebook. You on YouTube, hit the like button.
That's right.
That lets YouTube know that we here. You know what I mean? That helps us out. So, and especially on Facebook, because they got the little lights down there, and you can just keep sitting there hitting that song.
Yeah, unlimited amount.
You can hit it 1,000 times and it'll just bubble up. Do that. Do that.
Do that part.
Yeah, that part. Hold on. Let me
Yeah.
hit this video here to get us going.
Do you think what we did during COVID could usher in our version of a social credit system?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, that's
And that it would-
highly probable.
And that it will be accepted by many people because, again, that
They won't even
yearning
notice.
for safety.
They won't notice even. Yeah. You can't believe how much people don't know these things. When I went to the UK, I talked to some people from the House of Lords. This is within the last 6 months. The most astute of the people sitting in the House of Lords had only become aware of the woke movement in the last 18 months. Oh yes, you just can't believe how much this is not on people's radar. Not someone like you can't believe that at all, because it's on your radar all the time. That's not, you live in a world that's on the cutting edge of this sort of thing. It's like, people have no idea. It's like, well, why not have a digital passport? I mean, you know, how convenient. It's like, fair enough, and you can understand that. Wouldn't it be nice if we could pay for everything with our phones? It's like, wouldn't it be nice if the central government, who's woke-oriented and makes carbon dioxide remediation the priority, knows exactly what you spend on everything, so they can target you tax-wise with precision? It's like, oh, didn't think about that. It's like, yeah, you sure didn't. And oh yes, it's highly probable it'll be a miracle if we escape from that. You can see these signs of this everywhere. You know, when you go through airports now, there's a lot of automated barriers. You show your passport. It's like, well, these are automated barriers. What if you can't go through them? Well, that's the situation for many people in China. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to argue with the machine? Like, you just cannot imagine how screwed you are. There isn't, it's way worse than anything Kafka ever imagined, because at least with Kafka, there was bureaucrats. Faceless though they may have been, they were at least still human. Once the machines can lock you out, you are in such trouble. And we're speeding towards that with an immense lack of care.
Damn.
Ain't that something?
That is something.
That is, you know what I mean? Like I said, like these are people, like I said, a lot of their, and it's not just him, there's several of them. That go around and they do all these interviews all the time, and they're warning people and they're telling people as to what's going on. You know what I mean? And these aren't people that's just sitting sitting in their basements with some antennas on their damn head and shit, like
Right.
aliens. I mean, like these are people that's actually walking around doing this, and they're coming back and they warning you of what's to come. It's crazy.
It is. It's way crazy. Man.
Now this one right here, I'm gonna say I'm gonna show you this one here too before we get into it. Now this guy here, I actually tried to get a hold of this guy here and see if I couldn't get him on here because I wanted to kind of pick his brain a little bit because what he was talking about, he was absolutely 100% factual about what he was saying, and I was trying to get him, but I couldn't get him in time. So I'm gonna play this one right quick and let you check this out.
I'm sick and tired of people portraying an image like this is the greatest country of all time and that we will never fall. I'm here to tell you, listen to what I'm fixing to say because America itself, aka Babylon, is fixing to fall. But Ryan, we have more guns in this country than actual people. We'll never fall. You mean the same country where people are working 3-4 jobs and working 100 hours a week to not even get by anymore? They're damn near next to homeless. Oh, you talking about that country where everybody's on some type of medication. You can't even turn your TV on without seeing a commercial of some type of medication being shoved down your throat. You talking about this country? Not to mention this country's so full of hate now. You've got men hating women and women hating men and the black man hating the white man and the white man hating the black man. There's nonstop hate. The government knows that. United we stand, divided we fall, and right now we are beyond divided. I call it the 3 Ds. Distract them, you drug them, and you divide them, and the whole country's over with. But Ryan, how is America gonna fall? Pay attention. You infiltrate their country with quote-unquote illegal immigrants, thousands, if not millions of them, and you place them strategically all throughout the United States, when in reality, they're United Nations troops waiting on an order. You label them on the news as illegal immigrants so that nobody in their country freaks out when they realize there's a whole nother military in our country right now. And then they create a major event such as a government bombing at one of our cities or saying that somebody's attacking us. And then they're going to round up our military and deploy them to another country. Not to mention they're going to create a draft and round up every last patriot they can find who would swear to protect this country and everyone in it, and they're going to deploy them to another country. Once they do this, it's easy breezy. They deploy the United Nations troops to go door to door, such as they done in the 1940s, and all throughout generations, governments have always destroyed their own people. They know they have to do this because America is a lot harder to take over than every other country because we're armed to the teeth. I just want you to know when the United Nations comes door to door, they don't have good intentions for you and your family. Understand this. They will tell you, come with us. We're here to take you to a safe place and your family to a safe place, such as they did in the 1940s with the Jews. They told them at first, get on the train, we're taking your family to a nice camp. But nobody knew that they were like sheep going to a slaughterhouse. The stage is being set, folks, for the Antichrist to rise. This is all biblical. We're in the last days, and war is coming here on this soil. And be ready to defend your family, and most of all, be in the Bible. Stay away from worldly things. Don't get caught up in worldly things. Lead your family close to God every single night and pray that He protects you during these last days, because I'm telling you, terrible times. The Bible says these are the worst times that will ever be in history. This is not to scare you. This is not fear-mongering. This is what's fixing to happen.
Heavy.
He was absolutely correct about what he was saying. Absolutely correct. Now you can't get no clearer than that.
Right.
But think about this though. Based on what he said, what did he say that wasn't going on right now? That's exactly what's going on right now. I mean, when you hear in the news, how many times have you heard in the news where they talking about shipping all these people to Chicago and New York and Los Angeles and over here in Florida, actually, to the point that you got states calling for state of emergency because they can't deal with the influx of people that they bring and they're dropping off.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly what you do. a lot of the books, a lot of the older books like the Art of War, stuff like that, it talks about stuff like that. I mean, how do you infiltrate a country without them knowing? You bring your own people in, and you basically sit back and wait. Kind of like how they talk about the Taliban and whatnot. And they call them sleeper cells. That's what they call them. They you go to a country and you live a normal life and you do everything that you're supposed to do and you just be cool. And then at the very time that I need you, I activate you and you know what you need to do. So that's a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. What I mean?
Hell yeah, it is.
And
Hell
then,
yeah.
right, and if you sit back and look at it, that's exactly what's going on right now. You know, um, there was a video um, I was trying to get it. I don't know whether I have it or not, but it was talking about over in over in China, and they already are doing something similar to this now, to where they're going through identifying people and whatnot. They doing picture picture resignation. They also doing DNA. So when they pull your picture up, it'll tell you everything that you need to know about that person. So they use a a example as to how they did things. It was like take for instance, um, somebody jaywalked, right? So when they jaywalked, the camera will automatically zoom in and take their picture, recognize who they are, and whatever fine that was assessed to them, they will automatically take that fine from their bank account. Then, in the process of that, they also have a social credit check. So what happens at this point is that once you get caught jaywalking and they take the money out for the fine, they alert your neighbors in your neighborhood that you just got caught jaywalking and you just paid this penalty. On top of that, that takes off points from your social credit score, not your regular credit score, but your social credit score. And if you go down so many points on your social credit score, you cannot buy groceries. You cannot go in the stores and buy nothing because once it recognizes who you are, it tells them that your social score was down so low that you can't buy anything. This is stuff that they're doing right now.
It's not like a movie
Right,
plot. It's happening now.
right. This is going on right now. So, if it's going on right now there, and there's stuff going on in the UK right now, which is one of these other videos I'm going to show you, that's going on right now, what's stopping it from going on here? Nothing.
Facts. Facts.
So it's either, what I mean, because you kind of think like they watch this stuff, like, okay, we ain't gonna do it here yet. Let's see how it works over there.
Totally.
Let's see how it works over, let's see how it goes over in the UK. Let's see how
And let's see how they react to it over there. Let's see how they handle it over there and see the problems, the legal problems, all the stuff that they've got. They use them as a test dummy. Then all of a sudden they implement stuff like that over here. Simple.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, think about it. What did they do during COVID? COVID was the biggest test that they could have possibly done.
That's
Okay,
a fact.
now let's break it down. At first, what they do? Everybody had to wear a mask and whatnot, right? Everybody wore a mask. Wherever you went, you had to wear a mask. Grocery store, airplane, everywhere. Everybody had to wear a mask. Okay. Then it went from that to um, they give you the little curfew. Okay, so we needed everybody to be in the house by some places it was 8 o'clock, some places it was 9 o'clock. But you had to be in the house by that time. Okay. Then it went from that to okay, well, you know what? If you're not an essential worker, I need you to just stay in the house.
Right.
We're gonna let your kids stay there. We're gonna, they can do their work on a computer. I need y'all to just stay in the house. So unless you a cop or a nurse or construction worker, truck driver, somewhere around there, something that keeps society going. The rest of y'all stay at the house, and we're gonna give you $600 a week to stay at the house. Claim your unemployment, pick up your little $600, and you stay at the house.
Hmm.
Everybody stayed at the damn house.
They sure did.
You know what I mean? They stayed at the house so much that when they took the money back, it was like, okay, well, experiment's over now. Y'all can go back to work. Like, fuck no, I ain't going back to work.
They said, we like what you guys provided us here.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, were they really thinking that once you cage these people up for so long, what happened? They got used to being caged up.
Right.
It
Isn't that weird?
Right. It didn't bother them. And that's exactly what they're doing now. You know what I mean?
And this is also what they secretly hoped that they wanted anyways. They wanted people to sit back, relax, not care about anything, so that they could just go on and get, anything passed like they want. And, kind of like just sweeping under the rug stuff, like you're saying. A lot of the times they will pass things right underneath our nose.
Exactly. So if you got half the population in the house, you can pretty much get by with whatever you want. You
Right.
can put stuff up and down the road. Don't matter. Ain't nobody paying attention to that because ain't nobody out. You know what I mean? That was by far the biggest test that they ever done on Americans to see if we could
Absolutely.
let me see what I got to do to make them stay in the house.
Yep.
That's exactly what they did. You know what I mean? So if anything else ever come out and they decide, there's another variant to come out or whatever, and they be like, okay, well, we're gonna shut everything down again. Everybody got to go in the house. They ain't gonna have no problem doing it.
They know how to do it exactly verbatim like they did last time. Just pay them a little money. Pay them a little money. All of a sudden, now everyone's content. That's crazy.
Right, because that's considered controlled behavior. You know,
It is.
I've already taught you how to do this, so then when the time comes again, you know what to do.
Right.
So it's a controlled behavior. That's exactly what. But most people wouldn't even thought about that. They just thought about it like, okay, well, I don't got to go to work, and they're gonna give me $600 a week for me to stay here and sit my ass at the house, and I'm sitting at the house.
And realistically, that is to them all it really is to them. But in the grand scheme of things, you're just like this pawn in this huge experiment. Meanwhile, you're benefiting off of what, your $600? You know what I mean? Like that, it's crazy. We're so willing to put ourselves in the position of just being tested like a lab rat.
Exactly.
All for what, a couple of pennies?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Realistically.
But just like they got said on the video, nobody really says much, and the reason why they don't say much is because you keep them distracted.
Right.
Keep them distracted, and you keep them divided. You know what I mean? So as long as you push that agenda over there, and as long as they focused on that shit over there, then they're not paying attention to me.
I like how you put it: drugged, distracted, divided.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I mean, America really is the number one of all time drugged up society. And if it's not alcohol or actual street drugs, then it's pharmaceuticals. I mean, we're the biggest consumer of any type of pharmaceutical around the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Yep. And they have, there's dealing with the COVID thing, that ain't the actual, there's plenty of variants out there.
Right.
Like you think about it, during the time that COVID was really out and everybody was catching it, how many times did that virus mutate and become another strand? You know what I mean? It didn't just go to one and then just stop.
Right.
So when they started letting everybody go back to work and open everything back up, the only reason why they did that is because they were losing money on the back end of that. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, we didn't realize it was, you know what I mean, we was gonna lose money on this end. Okay, put their ass back out there. You know, that don't mean that the variant stopped. They didn't stop mutating. It kept going. You know what I mean? Because that wasn't a natural virus anyway. That was some
Right.
shit.
Man-made.
You know what I mean? It started out natural, but after they did what they wanted to do to it, made it mutated that shit, and then it just so happens to get out, and then now it's this big thing. People be like, oh, they had COVID out back in the 70s, 80s. Yes, they did. That wasn't this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Completely different.
Right. This is a lab version of COVID.
Much way more potent.
Exactly. So let me play this. Let's see where we at here. We go one here where they were talking about how this is in New York. They're doing a bill in New York, supposed to be to help the kids, supposed to be to protect the kids to where they're not getting on different platforms if you're not 18 years or older, which they've been asking that forever, on these sites. So you're 18 years old, or you click the box or whatever, and it shows you the content.
This one right here piqued my interest to the T. When I heard this one originally, I was like, this one is probably the most insane one out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the amount of control that you can do from all of this is insane.
Right. Let me load this up right quick here.
Pay attention, you guys. This one's a heavy one. This one, though.
What's going to happen to the homeless people when we get a central banking digital currency? How are we going to help them? Is it going to be tracked? Is it going to be monitored? Is it going to be against the law for us to give money to a homeless person when they ask for it inside of a gas station? Let's start asking ourselves these questions. The people who are building our new economy, our future central banking digital currency, are not taking into consideration that they're about to just downgrade an entire populace of humans on this planet, in this country. What's going to happen to them? If the middle class is being forced out into poverty because everything is going into economic decline, what's going to happen to them when they lose their money source? Why are people not asking these fucking questions? This is the thing that it doesn't make sense to me. What are we doing on this planet right now?
Let's see. And here's the other one here. I figured I'll play that one first, and then I want
Might as well. Yep.
We can talk about both.
40 senators have sponsored a bill to make sure that you have to upload your driver's license before you can use your First Amendment on the internet. That's what they want. That's what this bill is. This bill is designed to make sure that they have your home address before you can actually post about anything on the internet. The bill is Senate Bill 1409. 40 senators have sponsored it, Republicans and Democrats. This isn't a left or right issue. This is a speech issue. And they call the bill the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA for short. But in reality, this is some garbage to make sure that they know where you live when you post. This bill, they claim, is to protect kids from restricted material on the internet. But what it's going to do is it's going to restrict the internet for everybody and then make you prove you're over 18 before you can look about anything. So maybe there's some history of America that is a little bit dicey, right? Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about the Second Amendment. Maybe there's some controversial stuff out there. Well, this bill allows every attorney general in every state of the union to make sure that they can sue internet companies like TikTok, like Facebook, like Twitter, that they can sue them if they aren't making sure that everyone who looks at controversial topics are over 18. So all these companies are going to have to keep a database of all their users to prove that everyone looking at these controversial topics are over 18. So how are they going to do that? They're going to collect your driver's license. The bill doesn't tell them, but the bill does make it very clear that all of these companies are going to have to prove that their users are over 18. The only way to do that is to have you upload information that proves that you're an adult before you're allowed to touch the rest of the web. So if you want to make sure you have unrestricted internet, and I'm not even talking about the spicy stuff. I'm talking about if you wanted to go and find out gun safety information, if you wanted to find out maybe medication information, if you wanted to go find out some history that they don't want to teach you in schools, this bill will allow attorney generals to sue all of these companies under the guise of protecting kids. Senate Bill 1409. And it is bipartisan. My senator, Senator Bob Casey, a Democrat here in Pennsylvania, is co-sponsoring this bill with Lindsey Graham and Marsha Blackburn and Dick Durbin. It's all over the place, people. They're all out to make sure that they can trace your shitty posts on Twitter and on Facebook back down to your home address. And they're doing it claiming they're protecting the kids. So call your senators. Does not matter where you live. Call your fucking senator and say, I do not want Senate Bill 1409 to ever be touched or passed. "40 senators have..."
Now you see that?
Man.
Now, what's your perspective on this? I'm gonna let you get this. What's your perspective?
It's something that I kind of saw coming in the first place because I'm someone that's super, super deep into the social media game, right? And I realized as soon as you become an Instagram partner or a Meta partner, you have to upload your driver's license. It's part of the ordeal is you have to upload your driver's license anytime you're verified. Well, I'm like, wow, if I have to do this when I'm verified, I can only imagine that they could easily implement this for anybody that is for 18 and over usage, right? Now, let's be real. 99% of what's put on the internet is for 18 and over usage. You know what I mean? So it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, wow, anybody at any moment could be, oh, you need to verify your age. And that's not you just putting in your birthday number. That's you actually scanning, putting in and emailing in your information. And so it's not something that surprises me because I kind of saw this coming. I've been on this social media grind, I guess you could say, for the last 12, 13 years. Mm-hmm. So it's not surprising, but at the same time, it's extremely scary. And I have two daughters, 7 and 1.5. I can only imagine what they're going to have to deal with when they're like just 20. Could you imagine? Like we have technology and things like this happening underneath our noses as we speak. Imagine when they're 15, 13, 10 years from now, what they're going to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary, man. It's scary.
Absolutely. And this is, like I said, like when me and you be sitting back talking about a lot of this stuff. This is the reason why, that we come up with these topics that we come up with.
Right.
Because I was talking to a guy the other day at the barbershop, and he had watched the show, and he was like, well, I watched the show, but why was you talking about that? I'm like, what do you mean? So he was like, well, ain't you a motorcycle guy? I'm like, well, yeah. So he said, well, why are you talking about this stuff over here? I said, well, see, that's, there's a lot of things that you don't.
You're boxing yourself in too much there.
Right. Now you kind of lean in towards the stereotype,
Mm-hmm.
said, so let's go down the list a little bit. I said, now you're a pastor in a church, correct? And he was like, yeah. I said, okay. So your domain is your church, correct? I said, yeah. I said, okay. So your your people come in there, they pay you every Sunday, they put the money in the love offering, and you teach them the good word, and you do what you feel is the godly thing to do, correct? I said, because that pulpit is your platform, correct? He said, yeah. I said, okay, well, let me tell you something. Yes, I am a biker. Yes, I am a barber. But then I pulled out my card. But I'm also a minister too. You see that? That's my license from the state of Florida. You see that? But the difference between me and you is this. I don't need a church. What I do, my show, that's my platform. That's my pulpit. So you may go in your church and you may talk to 50 people, but I can get on my show and I can talk to 50,000 people. So who has the biggest platform? Me or you? So he's like, well, I didn't really think about it like that. Sure you didn't. Sure you didn't. Because you just automatically assumed
Right.
that every time, this is who he is. You have no idea who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover.
Facts. Big time. Big time.
No, but this this other what's this other video here? Oh, this video here with it's a 4-part video. Now, this one here, you really have to pay. This one here is crazy. This one here is crazy. And the reason why it's crazy is because this right here could actually really happen here. This right here could actually really happen in the United States. So let me give you a precursor to what this is. So in the UK, they have already approved for this to go on. Okay, and it's supposed to go on in 2024. And what it is that you take a city. So take Orlando, for instance, and they're going to make a 15-mile radius circle around Orlando. Okay, and then they're going to divide it out into pies. Okay, so they're going to divide it out into 6 equal pieces to where it takes you 15 minutes to go from this end to this end. Now, what they do is that they're going to put these things up called an e-gate, basically like a electronic monitoring system that as you go by, it it basically tracks you, just like how, like, if you go through a toll booth now, you don't have to pay, it just automatically
Totally.
hands you
Yep.
as you go through. Okay, so they're going to use these e-gates. Now, within that 15-minute radius, you are to have everything that you need in a 15-minute radius. Your school, the place where you buy food, your job, everything is going to be within that 15-minute radius. Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, that your mom lives across town. Can you go see your mom? Sure, you can go see her, but you got to put in a form, and it has to be approved for you to go through those lines, and you can only do it 100 times
100 times per year.
per year. After that, you get charged. It's like a fine that you get for doing that. But what they're doing is basically just like they did for COVID, keep you in a confined space.
Damn straight.
Going to keep you within a 15-minute radius. You're not going to be across town. You're not going to be over here. You're going to be in this area. This is where you're going to be. You know what I mean? So they actually passed law for this to happen in the UK. It's about to go down there. Like I said, this is something else that's going to go on to where, it happens somewhere else. and it goes like it's supposed to go, and they're gonna
Yep.
adapt shit here. You know what I mean? That's just what happens.
It happens time and time and time again.
Mhm.
History has proved that for America.
Right, right. But this is some of the stuff. Like I said, I'll play the videos for you to see it for yourself. But think about this. Would you have known this if I wouldn't have said it?
No,
You wouldn't have had a clue.
no,
You wouldn't have had a clue
no.
until
And this is what's sad about it. You would think this would be spread across every news station. You would think would be international news. But what? They hide it right underneath their own our noses.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Ain't said a word. I'm gonna tell you something else that I found out today that blew my mind, and it happened right here in Florida. Uh, over the weekend, they was talking about this big disturbance that happened in Miami. I don't know whether you heard this.
Yeah, all the cops that were there, and
Yeah, they had hundreds of cops there.
yeah,
They was talking about it. It was some kids playing with some fireworks, and they got to fighting. No, that wasn't what it was.
right.
So you sitting there talking about these kids that was over here fighting, and yeah, they did show some kids that was over there fighting. But why didn't they show that 10-foot, whatever the fuck it was, standing out there in the middle of the damn road that was 10 feet tall, that they don't know where the hell it was? Now, they showed it from an aerial view, right? They showed it an aerial view, showed it. Other people that was there said that it was at least 10 feet tall. Now, here's the question. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What happened to it? Because nobody said nothing about it. Even on the news report, they never said what happened to it. They just showed it surrounded, and it just kept bobbing around, and they said it was 10 feet tall. Where'd it
Wow.
go? You know what I mean? It's like they talk about a little bit, and then they just cut it off and just moved on to something else.
Right. For
Like,
real.
right, like you told this, and you tried to blame it on this. Now you know damn well you ain't gonna have no hundreds of police officers show up for some kids fighting at the mall.
No.
You're not gonna do it like that.
It could have been 10 kids. It could have been 20 kids. There's not going to be that many cops that show up. I promise you.
They showed this little fight. It was a mob of them. It was probably about 15, 20 kids. And yeah, it was a dude there getting his ass thumped. He was getting thumped over there. But it wasn't for all these cops.
Right.
All these cops ain't had to be there for that. But they literally had, if you've seen the video, they had whatever the hell it was surrounded there. And it was just bouncing around. And they said it was 10 feet tall. But they never said what they did with it. What
Of
happened?
course not. Of course not. Who's going to hold them liable? Are we going to hold them, their feet to the fire? No. So they're not going to do anything about it if they don't have to. As soon as the government steps in, you're not going to go ahead and show or talk about any more about that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then what?
Right. But they said, of course, it was some, it was some kids fighting, playing with the firecrackers or whatever. But they had Black Hawk helicopters out there.
Right. Well, explain to me why you need even that many amount of cops. Forget about it. Sure, the cops, but Black Hawk helicopters.
yeah, Black Hawk.
Really?
Helicopters there for some kid fighting. Come on, man.
Right.
Oh man. But let me get off it. I just had to bring it up. Y'all can go on there and look it up and look at it for yourself. You clearly see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna play these right quick. I'm just gonna go.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go from one to the next, so that way.
Yep. Let's run it all the way through.
All right. Here we go.
Only have 15 minutes of freedom here in the UK. So let me tell you the plan. The plan is in Oxford, and this has just been passed by the council, to divide the city here into a bit of a squiggly city into 6 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will only have the freedom to operate in the part that you live. So if this is you, the idea is that everybody will live within 15 minutes of the things they need. 15 minutes of a school, 15 minutes of a doctor's, 15 minutes of a supermarket. And if you want to travel to the other zones in your city, or maybe soon your town, you will have to go out an approved route. You will have to journey around the outside of the city in order to re-enter another section of the city. This plan is supposed to be saving the planet. And the idea is that you won't simply be able to cross over into other sections of your city anymore. So if your mother, for example, lived over here, you wouldn't be able to just go across and see her. This would all be done via e-gates, electronic gates, and number plate recognition. You in your area will only be allowed within that 15-minute zone that you've been allocated. The number plate recognition will know if you leave your zone, and you can apply for permission, a permit to leave your zone and travel to another zone, but you'll only be allowed to do this about 100 times a year. This is real. I just have to stop and say that. This is actually being passed by Oxford Council. This is happening in the next 2 years, 2024 it begins. And if you use up all your 100 passes that someone designates whether you're allowed to have to go into the different zones, you'll be fined. Your number plate will be recognised. It will observe that you've gone somewhere you're not allowed in your own city, and it will fine you £100 or £80 or whatever the fine number is. This is coming your way. This has already been approved in Oxford, in Canterbury. As another scheme, it's for 5 zones, but the same principle. This is not by chance. And what I want to take you through now is the controlling mechanism to any criticism of this. Then I want to take you through the parallels, the similarities, the patterns that you can see from this sort of coercive control. And finally, I want to take you to the dark side. Cities, how they manipulate the narrative, controlling any opposition, patterns that we've learnt already from COVID, and then I'll take you to the dark side. So when you're locked into these neighbourhoods and you're only allowed within 15 minutes of your home address, the way that they're going to and are already controlling the conversation, and think back to COVID, think back to COVID, think back to COVID, they're creating fact checkers. So anybody that's spoken of this already, whether it's Sky News in Australia with lovely Rowan, or GB News, or anyone trying to talk about this zoning restriction in cities where you're going to be effectively told you can only go this far and you must stay this far. Any kind of opposition to that, any voices like this one say, can you not see the worry here, the control on this? Now we have the fact checkers. So you have the fact checkers that will be promoted on Google, promoted on any search engine, fact checkers on Twitter, AFP, fact checking, saying, no, this isn't a climate lockdown. This is just some traffic control. No, people will still be able to go wherever they want. Well, yes, you will, but you'll be fine. No, people won't, there won't be physical barricades. Well, no, there won't. There'll be e-gates, and there'll be nameplate recognition and probably facial recognition to follow, which is far more scary than an actual bollard that I could go blooming crashing my way through at my own cost. All of these fact checkers are, no, but what they're saying is fine, is not fine at all. The next thing, which we saw so many times, and I've seen all my life, is that you accuse those who are speaking out, like myself, of causing harm. You say that in Oxford, the councillors have had to stay at home for the day because of all of the abuse they've been taking online. These extremists, these conspiracy theorists are threatening physical violence. You make it so that anyone speaking out against this is the enemy and may cause harm. And this maybe should be policed. And shouldn't we be policing the speech of those who speak out against 15-minute cities or being told you're not allowed to drive where you want to anymore? And the last thing is, just the labeling of people as conspiracy theorists means that you automatically dismiss them. So for me, I'm just a regular mom, pay my taxes. I can see that telling people where they can and can't drive is not okay. That becomes a conspiracy theorist. Just like it was racist was used to silence people who just had an opinion about something. This is another way of labeling people.
So what you think?
Oh man. This is something that is very, very easy for the government to implement. I don't see how at this point why it could be something that they really couldn't do. And that's what's scary about it. I mean, it really is just a number plate system, just like you would just get on a toll. The cameras can, automatically get your plate. There's nothing you can do about it. So this is going to be a very easy way for them to be able to control our freedom to be able to, I guess the word would be travel. You know what I mean? And this is sad. This is sad because this is totally not what freedom is. This is the exact opposite. This is control by all beyond belief. So this is going to be rough, and if this is something that could, and it very well could be implemented here, I'm scared for my own family's future. Not necessarily mine, and of course within my own lifetime I'm going to see enough, but I just think about my daughters every time. It's like, man, I can only imagine what the hell they're going to be dealing with.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you, this is like the stuff that we talking about tonight. So the first thing is that everything that we talked, it just is very real. This is stuff that's actually in effect. You know what I mean? That's been voted on in these different places, and it's actually taking place right now. You know, like I said, it's going on right up under your nose, and you have no idea. You know what I mean? Because you know we all tend to at one time or another say, well, oh, you know what, that's not going to happen here. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know, this is America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. That is true. But, you know, one thing that always stands out, and you look at all of the division and the hate and the distractions that's going on, and one thing always comes to my mind when I think about this is that a house divided would never stand. Let me say that again for the people in the back.
Please say it again for everyone to figure that one out.
A house divided will never stand. This is exactly what's going on. Oh shit! This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with division. We're dealing with distractions. We're dealing with the drugs. I mean, think about it. Like we were just talking about drugs the other day. You got people in Philadelphia walking around like fucking zombies that they're doing nothing about. You got people in Oregon right now that's so strung out on damn fentanyl, they laying out in the damn street that they're doing nothing about. And you know the reason why they're not doing nothing about that? It's population control. They don't give a fuck about them anyway. You know what I mean? Because that's one less thing you got to worry about. But I'll tell you something else you didn't know. Did you know that people that die, say you died today, God forbid. Say any person died today. I'm not going to put that on you. Any person died today. You know whatever state that they were born in gets $70,000 because you died? Did you know that?
They get paid.
The state that you were born in collects $70,000 the day your ass died.
I did not know that.
See, that's another story that we're going to tap into later on. See, this is
That's wild.
Like I told that pastor, you know, it's a lot of shit I know.
I know that fact, but yeah, absolutely. There's people that may not know this shit, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to this. It's a lot to it.
Absolutely.
You know, well, I want my viewers, my people, to know what's going on, and the reason why is because if I know that I'm doing you a disservice by not telling you, you know, so why would I be making my preparations and you know making sure my ABC is taken care of, and then I'm sitting here every week and I'm talking to you about some bullshit that don't even matter. You know what I mean? Why would I be sitting here schooling you on some shit that's not important?
Sure. You're
You
not
know,
going to waste your time or anyone else's.
exactly. So if I have your ear for this hour, then for that hour, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, so this stuff here, this ain't nothing I just popped up out my ass. This is something that I researched from the time we finished the last show to
Yep.
this show. I've been
It's
on this,
true.
I've been pulling this information up, so that way I can make sure that y'all know this stuff.
Yep.
I'm-
And he sends me exactly those things. Yep. Yep. He sends me all the things that he wants to be presented for the show. And it's like, wow, all the way through, a week through, he's sitting here researching. Got my dog in there. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think we done fucked their heads up enough.
Absolutely. Mine included. Mine included.
You
Yeah,
know,
so
you know, you gotta think about that. Think about it like this: the impact of our new government policies that shaping the future, in some ways, may be perceived as like this new world order that can't be underestimated, which is very true. But you know, me and you, Mike, and the Domino Effect, we here to shed light on that, on those topics,
absolutely. That's what it's all about.
right? And explore the ramifications dealing with that. So as we navigate through these uncertain times, is it crucial stay tuned, stay informed, stay prepared for the changes ahead. Because as we find out, we're gonna make sure you know about it. So we hope that this show gives you those insights, you know, for this revolving landscape and these government policies and other, you know, potential implications through our society that needs to be dealt with, because if it's not dealt with, it's going to impact us all.
Facts. Big time. Well, I can't thank you guys enough from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate every single one of you guys for being in the side chat. Look, we got my dog in here as well, chilling with us. What up? But yeah. Appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us from the bottom of my heart. And we'll see you guys in 7 days?
Like, follow, share. Go to YouTube.
I'm going to let you say it.
Go to YouTube.
That's right. So much love, guys. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Until next time,
Peace.
we'll see you guys.
Wait, tattoos all on my face. Hey, I can see in their face. I know I'm pop. We know you not. Joker, gang. You hear the lie.
You say you gang, but we don't know your name. We been had the clout, we been had the fame. We been getting money, we making it rain. This ain't no joke, we don't need a scope. Everyone talking, but we never broke. I carry the weapon when I go outside, man, don't try to provoke. You go down like a slope. Wait, we got tats on our face. We got straps on our waist. Getting money, we straight. I know they hating, I know they plotting. I let them all watch. Can't ever do what we do. I put my paint in tattoos.
Wait, tattoos all on my face. Hey, I can see in their face. I know I'm pop. We know you not. Joker, gang. You hear it a lot. I make it spin like the wheel. I really been in the field. Money, no chill. Get on the beat and I drill. All of us ready to kill. Drum on the key for the thrill. I get it straight out the seal. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I've been outside, that's for I get it straight out the seal. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I've been outside. Inside, you don't know how I feel. I'm ready for war. I got the Drake gun ready to pop. You staring at me cause I know I got face tats. But you scared to run up and do something about it cause I shoot broad daylight. I don't give a fuck. Wait. Tattoos all on my face. Hey, I can see in their face. I know I'm pop. We know you not. Joker, gang. You hear it a lot.